Since this is my birthday episode, technically, I wanted to dedicate a segment to the one gift that keeps on giving, hilarious women. I just want to say there were two other topics that they would not let me do. One, game show panelists of the 50s. Can't imagine why they rejected it.
Oh.
Or being a gay man and how you can dress like Chun-Li from Street Fighter for Halloween and have it not be offensive. I guess there's no answer.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I can think of no one better to discuss this with than the uproarious woman in front of me. So Caroline and I are going to go through some categories of comical women. And by the way, past and present, nominate our picks, then fight to the death over who was the most correct, which, by the way, we love doing. We have been doing it already.
I know. I'm ready to take your ass down, okay? And was that homophobic? I'm not sure. But either way, I'm ready.
I'm going to HR. Okay, so I'm just going to pick from a random category here. Let's talk about physical
Wait, sorry.
comedians.
Before we get started, can we get some ground rules?
Yes.
Are we doing our top picks, like, just the answer, or is it our underrated dark horse?
Both can play. Both can play.
Okay, I'm ready to play both. Let's
All
go.
right. Let's talk about physical comedians, the best physical comics, someone who can make you laugh without even talking. Now, this is going to seem almost kind of like a dated choice because, or maybe even obvious, but I don't think we have been topped since this person.
I know who you're going to say.
Melissa McCarthy.
Oh, that is not who I thought you were going to say. Sorry, the greatest all-time female physical comedian is Lucille Ball.
Well, okay. Well,
point blank, period.
You know what? I'm going to actually put up some ground rules. When
okay, it doesn't have to be from
when people
this
say,
century.
When people are like, "Oh, Lucille Ball's my favorite comic," it makes me think like they.
No, I'm not saying that.
You're saying that's the only woman you've ever enjoyed.
Yes, I'm saying that I only get Nick at Night at home, and I've never seen anything besides that. No, come on.
No,
physical comedian.
Quite. No, do you know who Laurie Kilmartin is? The comic.
Jack Black's ex.
Yeah,
and
she writes with me at Kimmel.
She's amazing,
and she talks about how her number one pet peeve in life is when people say their favorite stand-up comic is Lucille Ball.
Okay, that's such a Gen X take, whatever, Lori.
But I do love what Lori. She means. Like it's something that if you're talking about,
it's basic. I know, I get it. It's a little chuggy. But we're narrowing it down. We're in categories. I think she is one of the funniest physical comedians of all time. And I did have Melissa McCarthy written down for me, by the way.
Oh, no. I mean, let's talk about Lucille Ball for a split second.
Sure.
I mean, the combination of she would literally be like pummeled with bread coming out of an oven and then also remembered to get the glance to the audience just at the right moment that timed perfectly with the laugh. It's like the musicality of what she did was so amazing.
Well, she was a dancer, like to be a great physical comedian, you have to have such an awareness and a presence in your body. And it's no surprise to me that she was like a Follies girl because she, like you said, there's a timing to it. There's a musicality, there's a rhythm, and there's a winkingness that she did. And she's stuffing chocolates in her mouth and stomping grapes and all of that stuff. Those are these timeless comedy moments for a reason because they are so revolutionary and they are still funny. I'm sorry, go watch an episode of The Honeymooners. It's not going to hold up the same way that an episode of I Love Lucy does. And on top of it, she was writing that shit. She was keeping Desi's cheating on the low. She was producing Star Trek. I mean, the woman could do it all. And for that, we speak her name.
Well, also, it's just crazy that Hollywood basically didn't know what to do with her for the longest time. She was in dramatic movies. She's in this movie called Lured from the 40s with George Sanders. It's a noirish movie, but you see her and she is good in it. But it's before she ascends to this untouchable strata of basically inventing television comedy.
Hollywood didn't know what to do with her, so she chose to do with herself what Hollywood couldn't do. I didn't have that sentence in my mind before I started saying it, and I lost it.
You said do 11 times. And I want to say about Melissa McCarthy. She, like Kristen Wiig, if we sentenced them to a life of just dramatic roles, I would also be thrilled with that. They are amazing dramatic actresses, in addition to being, a comic there. But she has achieved that specific thing of being in a movie that was not good except for one scene that is one of the best scenes I've ever seen, and it's Life of the Party, where she's delivering a monologue to a classroom and falling apart. I think that is the funniest physical comedy of the past 15 years.
Oh, I haven't seen that movie and I won't be seeing it, but it's good to know that scene's in there.
It's very on a plane. If you happen to run into it, find the one scene.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind for my next Southwest flight. But yes. I think that, man, Melissa McCarthy is truly that bitch. She is so fucking funny. To me, the one moment that really comes to mind, my Melissa McCarthy all-time greatest physical comedy moment was it SNL 50? I don't remember. Or sorry, it was the last time she hosted during the 50th season. Her breasts.
The breasts on that windshield or whatever it was.
American flag t-shirt onto a windshield wiping milkshake up. It was so funny, so fearless, and it has really burned a place in my mind.
Do you know the name Lulu Diamonds? When she plays an old Hollywood starlet who is like a Mae West send-up.
I don't, and I will soon.
Her catchphrase is, "Why don't you come up and see me up there sometime?" It's just like it's like a lame rip on Mae West.
Sure.
And she keeps falling down the steps that she's being positioned on. The ask for her to make that funny like 7 times, and she does it every single time. I mean, it's just it's a pleasure not only to see, but like you're like, thank God for this. Like people can just be this silly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she's so physically strong. She throws her body places. She's fearless. It's like, you know, I'm not a sporty person, but you know, in high school, like during the presidential fitness test, you have to run through the finish line. Like you don't stop at the finish line; you run through it. That's Melissa McCarthy. She barrels through with the sheer force of nature, and it just, God, there's nothing like watching someone do it at the top of their game. Also, shout out to Spy. I think
Fabulous movie.
Truly one of the funniest movies of the last, I don't know when it came out.
Can you guess which part of the presidential fitness test I was amazing at? And there's only one.
Sit and reach.
You got it.
How did I know? You give me sit and reach energy.
I have that lithe Sid Charisse body. You know what I mean? Like when I was in second grade.
Hamstrings.
Right.
Okay, not everyone does. You should be proud of that.
There should be a Ziegfeld Follies like movie with Lucille Ball called Loose Hamstrings.
Hollywood, are you listening? Crooked Media, get on that.
We're in the business of making movies now.
There's no one in this room.
Who is your favorite either guest actress on like a sitcom or get a sitcom supporting actress? Because I have an answer who's new, and I want to see more from her.
Okay.
Do you know who Jen Lyon is, who was on the show The English Teacher this year?
God, no.
This one, she has like one scene. She plays like a Southern mom who like is talking with the teachers. I don't know what it is about this performance.
That scene. Yeah.
It's like meeting a character in a whodunit where you're like trying to figure out what their deal is, except her deal is she's constantly shockingly hilarious. And it's not just the lines, which are great. Her choices are so daffy and yet played straightforward.
Yeah.
I am really intrigued with this actress. I hope we get a lot from her.
Okay, that's a big plug for Jenna Lyon.
Jenna
Lyons,
Jen
the
Lyon.
former CEO of J. Crew, and her comedic turn on The English Teacher. God, she's good. For me, when I think, God, there's so much to pick from here. This was a really tough category for me, but one name came to mind, and it is, of course, the indomitable Casey Wilson.
Oh, I love her and everything. And I loved her on Happy Endings.
To me, Casey Wilson in Happy Endings is one of the all-time greatest sitcom performances. Happy Endings is it underrated? I guess it's rated.
Well, it's one of those things where if you're a fan of it, you're a huge fan of it.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah, and Casey in that show is pitch perfect, scene stealing. Every line is funnier than the last. It's
so verbose.
She is so
so
verbose.
impressively.
She's so deft with the most like complex, long, psychotic lines, and she is a joy to watch. And I just always want more Casey Wilson on my screen.
And I want to say also on that show, Eliza Coupe playing just the
the
most competitive woman I've ever seen on a TV show.
Yes.
And boy, do I relate to competitive women.
Sure.
Like women playing volleyball with a high pony, just in general, and then just like the energy of like, don't fuck with me, fellas, kind of like.
That's why I'm so scared of you.
Yeah, a little Julie Bowen kind of energy.
Sure, I'm realizing why I'm so scared of you. It's because you remind me of some of the women I played club volleyball against. And
you know, I get that all the time.
Yeah, you've got scary volleyball energy.
Thank you. In terms of sitcom presences, I think my favorite sitcom supporting actress performance of all time is Jackée Harry on 227, who then was the mother on Sister Sister.
Can you give me a history lesson? I'm embarrassed to ask. What is
227 starred Marla Gibbs, who played Florence on the Jeffersons. Mm-hmm. And these are women who lived in an apartment in Washington, D.C. And Jackée played this woman, Sandra, who would just like, everything was like vivacious. And then Marla Gibbs was a bit more deadpan. So, but like all of her line readings were so electric, so funny. And she became the first Black woman to win the Best Supporting Actress Emmy.
Wow.
And Bruce Willis said her name wrong when he announced it. And the way the injustice sits with me and on me,
he
even now.
Adele-Dazeemed her?
Yes. He said Jackie as opposed to Jackée, and now she goes by Jackée Harry.
The disrespect. I don't want to speak too ill of the man because he isn't doing well, but that's nasty.
Right.
That's nasty, and he...
You hope that's the last thing he hears? Is that what you said?
I want to tread lightly here, but that makes me upset. But anyway...
If you haven't seen that performance recently, just look up literally a montage of clips from 227, and it is Lucy level. It is just
wow.
The delirium she brings while also keeping it within the frame of a sitcom is so good.
Keep It is brought to you by Honey Love. I don't know much about breasts, but what I do know came from Sexy Red Songs. Well, Sexy Red Songs and our producer Kennedy, who has ended her stretch of singledom and found a new love. Honey Love, that is.
Honey Love is an independent female-founded brand of supported wire-free bras. As Kennedy has said verbatim, I have itty-bitty titties. This is her quote, not me paraphrasing or whatever. I have itty-bitty titties, so dealing with underwire for a measly A-cup adds insult to injury. But with Honey Love, I don't have a pesky wire reminding me of my shortcomings, small cuppings, every time it stabs me in the rib. Honey Love also makes shapewear that's designed to move with you. It uses targeted compression to enhance your curves instead of squeeze them, working with your body instead of against it.
Honey Love sounds like a KT Tunstall song.
I was going to say, it sounds like the woman who hosted Forgive or Forget.
It's Mother Love's daughter.
Yeah. She's taking over.
Treat yourself to the most advanced bras and shapewear on the market. Save 20% off Honey Love at honeylove.com/keepit and use our exclusive link to get 20% off. honeylove.com/keepit to find your perfect fit. And after you purchase, they ask you where you heard about them. Please support Keep It and tell them we sent you. Keep It is brought to you by Armra Colostrum. In a world that's constantly changing, your health should not be up for debate. Okay, Jasmine Crockett?
I just learned that she has her own picture as her background on her phone, and I think that's cool. Women being inspired by themselves, a la Frida Kahlo.
She always had her picture on her cell phone.
Yeah, she's like, I'm in this bus accident. Let me look at my picture of myself.
They cut that from the movie, but it's true. From the latest wellness trends to the chaos of modern culture, we're always questioning what's real and what's just noise. But one thing is certain. Your body wasn't designed for the nonstop stress, processed foods, and environmental toxins of today's world. Armra Colostrum is nature's original superfood, packed with over 400 bioactive nutrients that fortify gut health, strengthen immunity, revitalize hair growth, and fuel performance at the cellular level. Because no matter where you stand on the latest hot topic, feeling your best is never up for discussion.
Well, then we won't discuss it. We've worked out a special offer for our audience. Receive 15% off your first order. Go to tryarmra.com/keepit or enter Keep It to get 15% off your first order. That's tryarmra.com/keepit.
Can I ask you a question about your childhood?
Yep, please.
This is what I imagine from your childhood.
Yes.
You were locked in a basement, chained to the radiator, with a TV.
Yeah, season 1 of Breaking Bad, like stuck in the basement. Yeah.
With a TV, it was like Black Snake Moan.
Yeah.
But you, instead of being like sexually captive, you were just captive and only had access to obscure sitcoms of the late 80s and early 90s.
Sure.
Is that about right?
Well, I think what you mean is I was a middle child.
Sure.
And that's it. So what I would like absorb, I think you and I grew up in a time.
It's like you say Marla Gibbs like it's a thing that everyone knows.
As they should. I
don't know who the fuck you're talking about. And I know a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And you are like Marla Gibbs, of course. And I'm like, no, of course who? No. What?
Right. I think I grew up in a time where it was really easy to learn everything old because you had so many Nick at Nights and VH1 I Love the 80s and everything was being thrown back at you constantly.
Lewis, I watched I Love the 80s. I've never heard of Marla Gibbs.
Oh my God. I mean, like, first of all, you're telling America as well as me. Let me just say that.
I'm okay with owning that.
By the way, Marla
America,
Gibbs still with us. We love you.
America, my name is Caroline Goldfarb. I have never fucking heard of Marla Gibbs.
You've seen the Jeffersons.
The
maid on the Jeffersons who's like, that's a load of shit, George.
I feel bad now. Now I feel bad. And I'm a monster. Okay. And
Right.
you've turned it around on me and I'm a monster.
Right.
I'm just saying you have a scary encyclopedic knowledge.
I feel the same way.
Of television specifically, maybe everything?
I have to say it's everything.
Okay. Noted.
I'm going to say.
Noted.
You can hear the titters in this room. They're like, what's wrong with him?
I know. And here I thought you just knew about OneSkin and Helix mattresses.
Right. Oh, no. Those are my hobbies.
I know.
This is my profession.
Anyway, sorry. Back to the game.
Yes.
I'm a little scared of you, but back to the game.
Let's see. Well, we've said the word deadpan a lot this episode. Do you have a favorite dry comic?
Do I have a favorite dry comic? My choice for this is unassailable. If you disagree or have a different one, I'm not kidding, climb over this table and probably slap you across the face.
Oh, we're going to brawl under the table, please.
Under, over, legs,
Yeah.
arms, whatever it takes. The funniest all time, irregardless of gender, is it regardless or irregardless?
I bet it's regardless.
Great. Marla Gibbs. Is the one and only, there can only be one, B. Arthur.
Oh, no, and first of all, I love Maude in addition to the Golden Girls.
Of course, you have to always one-up the show that everyone knows with the show that like less people have seen. Yeah, Maude, the abortion episode, yeah. But B. Arthur is the queen of dry. There is not one B. Arthur delivery that isn't so like desiccatingly bone dry and nasty and ruthless.
Nasty is also the word, because sometimes I come off
Maybe
a joke
it's
from
less
her as being
dry
like,
and she's nasty.
woof.
She's
Yeah,
mean.
Yeah.
I mean, look, she's obviously a cruel woman. You can't be that dry and nasty without having hurt a lot of people in your life. But man, is there someone? I'm curious as to who your take is.
Well, honestly, my feeling about the Golden Girls is, doesn't it feel crazy to you that it has not been revived in some
no,
kind
it
of way?
doesn't feel crazy to me. I think they've tried to revive it many times, but it's first of all, there are no women that look old anymore. Like,
It does feel
what
like
is it
you
gonna be?
kind of can't do it.
Julianne Moore and like Charo.
No, these are, no, but at least Charo would be like, Charo's like 80 or something. Julianne Moore is actually the age of the people on that show. You're right. That doesn't exist anymore. That kind of.
No,
you know.
it would be. It's so hard to imagine like finding 4 women that look their age, and also it's a chemistry that can't be replicated. And do we have like who are our funniest women in their 50s and 60s? Like, I don't know. These women that are performing at that level of funny are so few and far in between, I feel.
Yeah. I mean, like, maybe you could stick someone like Laurie Metcalf in there. Like, she'll at least turn out the multicam faces and the lines,
And it's
etc.
just so hard to
I
do
think
a
it has to be
multicam, too.
veterans of multicam. It's who I would pick. But.
Yeah, I suppose so. But anyway, we'll sidebar on our reboot of The Golden Girls and how we're going to put that together.
Yeah.
But
I'm trying to think of my favorite deadpan Well, I'll say this. Somebody who I think has gone underrated in the past few years, and she has one famous dramatic performance that is awesome, but Sandra Bernhard, there was something genuinely very risky about her all the time. She's somebody who I feel like didn't do comedy unless she was going to perturb half the audience. And not just like what she was talking about was like too queer or too radical or whatever. She literally just picked a tone in her voice where she said, you're either dialing into my fucking thing or you're not. And like when she was nasty in a deadpan way, you remembered it.
she's combative.
Yeah, combative is right. I really support the people who have a kind of combative energy, which reminds me, we saw this week on social media that Cherry O'Terry went to France recently and did a fake ad on a bicycle for like a stool softener.
Yeah, I did have her saved for one of the other categories.
Yeah, she's not deadpan, but I mean, like, there's something about her that she will always be my favorite Saturday Night Live cast member because it was combative in a way. She wasn't like drawing you in like, please like me or I'm gonna break or anything like that. She just said, I'm out on a limb. I'm like an electrocuted animal.
Yes.
And I'm screaming and I'm gonna
Yes.
keep it at that sustained pitch. And if you dial into it, to me, she remains immaculately funny.
To me, that's why she is a full wackadoo.
Yes, wacky.
She's a crazy person.
Yes.
And I mean that in the best way. She is unhinged. She's misunderstood. And she's
Yes.
batshit insane. And I don't know what she's like in her as a person, but her characters are bananas cuckoo. And yes, I really recommend the audience go to Cherry O'Terry's Instagram and check out some of the videos from her trip to France because they are some of the funniest. They're not produced.
Yeah.
There's no like TikTok team working with her. This is like she handed her friend the camera and was like, film me on a bike for 50 seconds. I'm about to motherfucking blow your mind.
Yeah.
And do a fake ad for a stool softener. And it's off the dome. The woman's insane. She's so funny. Cherry O'Terry, and when I see Cherry O'Terry doing a guest role on a sitcom in this day and age, when she came on into episode 3 of And Just Like That, season 3, I'm surprised the show got canceled. Like, she was so funny and she elevates the material and she's on a different planet. And I love it.
You know who's like a comedy cousin of hers is Deborah Wilson from Mad TV, who
Wow.
played Whitney Houston most famously.
Oh, yeah.
But like
yeah.
there's a quality about her where it's like she was stricken with something the entire time she was on, and that tenseness, was so funny. That Mad TV also had a tendency to be very mean to the people it was lampooning.
Yeah.
But she was so good. The talent level, and I think she's done a lot of voice acting since too.
I think you're right.
I feel like that's the domain of a lot of these people where they end up going.
You know what? And that's a good place to go.
Yeah.
As far as
Show up to work in sweats and be Babs Bunny.
talking to the mic, kind of like what we're doing now, but get paid 1,000 more times for it.
Right. Ding, ding. You
All
said
right. I do have a couple more I want to bring
it.
up.
Yes, please.
So I wanted to shout out someone that I think steals every scene she's in. When she's on the screen, it's electrifying. My eye goes to her and I leave the theater or turn off my TV only thinking about her. And it's Miss Wanda Sykes.
Oh, of course. Oh, first of all, the stand-up alone before you even get to the acting.
I
Yeah.
know. I was so torn whether to really dive into her stand-up or her acting. But to me, one of my favorite movies of the 2000s is Monster-in-Law.
Oh, well,
Comedic tour de force from everyone involved, including J-Lo.
yes.
But Wanda Sykes in Monster-in-Law is one of the greatest performances in cinema history. Yeah, I said it.
Wow. And there's a lot of comedy going on in that movie. So.
I know, but yet,
And Jane's hair in the 2000s. Wow.
God, it looked like
It was
hard.
aloft. Yeah.
It was. There's a lot of body and a lot of defying gravity.
Yes.
Move aside, Wicked. Jane Fonda's hair in Monster-in-Law. I love Wanda Sykes. Sometimes she doesn't she guest host Kimmel
Yeah,
sometimes?
she hasn't done it in like a year or so. She's one of my favorite guest hosts and amazing to work with.
God, I love the woman, and I just want more Wanda Sykes.
Actually, I
all
have
the
a
time.
Wanda Sykes story. So I worked on a pilot for a TV show, and it was her production company, but I didn't know that. So I walked in, and I'm working in an office, and it's the 2016 election time. Uh-oh. And it's right around, do you remember when Hillary Clinton was getting into a van and seemed to pass out?
Yeah, that
Yes.
was a tough time.
Yes.
For all of us.
So I'm sitting in the office writing my jokes for this pilot, and I hear in the office next to me someone go, "Can she not faint?" And it was Wanda Sykes.
It's
Can she
we
not
were all thinking it, but only Wanda Sykes was brave enough in that moment in her production office to say it.
Oh my God! I'll laugh at that forever. So funny.
Did she need to faint?
And also, she's on that show, The Upshaws, which is really underrated. Good show.
See, there we go. I have a bunch more names written down, but we can move on. But I just want to say thank you for having me play that completely unnecessary birthday game,
Oh, of course.
birthday topic, whatever we want to call it. It was really fun just to talk about funny women.
Oh, please, anytime. Maybe this should be the whole podcast, honestly.
Honestly, I'd love that.
All right. When we're back, we're joined by Jenny Slate.
Keep It is brought to you by strawberry.me. I'm not talking about myself. That's the actual website.
The clock is ticking. The days are rolling by, turning into weeks, months, years. We spend nearly a third of our waking hours at work. But the unfortunate truth is that for many of us, that's time languishing away at a job we've outgrown or one we never wanted in the first place. But we stick with it and say things like, "I've already put years into this place. What if the next move is even worse? I can't afford to take a wrong step. And isn't everyone kind of miserable at work? Why am I like a harried Diane Keaton character as I read these?" Don't fool yourself. There's a difference between reasons for staying and excuses for not leaving. It's time to get unstuck, and that's exactly what today's sponsor, strawberry.me, can help you do.
They match you with a certified career coach who helps you go from where you are to where you actually want to be. Your coach helps you get clear on your goals, create a plan, build your confidence, and keeps you accountable along the way. So, don't leave your career to chance. There's still plenty of time to take action. Time to own your future with a professional coach in your corner. The reasons to do so totally outweigh the excuses not to.
Head to strawberry.me/keepit to claim a special offer. That's strawberry.me/keepit. Stop settling. Start building the career you actually want.
Did I write this copy? Keep It is brought to you by Koyuchi. I am super excited to tell you about our sponsor, Koyuchi. Koyuchi is in a league of its own. No Madonna. When it comes to bedding, bath, and home products. And their organic crinkled percale sheet set is the key to a cooler, healthier sleep year-round. Actually, let me tell you something. I love percale sheets. You lay on them and they always feel cool.
Invest in your health and the best sleep of your life. The organic crinkled percale sheets, which, by the way, I love, are naturally cooling for a restful sleep and certified to be free of toxins and harmful chemicals that could seep into your skin. You can sleep well and safely with Koyuchi. Koyuchi is luxury you can feel good about, whether it's bedding or bath towels, table linens, crib sheets, or spa robes. All of Koyuchi's products are of the absolute highest quality, made with natural fibers, low-impact dyes, and certified fair trade. Koyuchi looks great, feels amazing, and is good for your health and the planet. If you want healthy, handcrafted luxury bedding that lasts a lifetime, you need Koyuchi.
Well, throw me on Chelsea Handler's TV show and call me Joe Koyuchi.
I'm not going to do it. I refuse. You've asked and I won't.
Well, you can at least get 15% off when you visit koyuchi.com/keepit. That's koyuchi.com/keepit to get 15% off. It's spelled COYUCHI.com/keepit.
This week's guest is one of the raddest there ever was. You know her from, of course, Obvious Child, but also Parks and Recreation, Marcel the Shell with Shoes On, and numerous books and stand-up specials. This year, she earned her first ever Emmy nomination for her role in FX's Dying for Sex, which we'll dive into today. What a fabulous series. Please welcome back to Keep It, Jenny Slate.
Hey. Thanks for that intro. That was really nice.
Oh, of course, of course. Okay, first of all, let's talk about the awardsiness. And by the way, your participation in awards culture in general. You're up for supporting actress in a limited series this year. You were, of course, in the Best Picture winning Everything Everywhere All at Once. And then also, Marcel the Shell with Shoes On was nominated for Best Animated Feature. These are such high-profile, fabulous competitions. Do you like award season and being a, shall we say, combatant in it?
Yeah, I feel like it's so maybe it'll never happen again. It feels very, very outside of me or what I can control, and so I just try to enjoy it if I'm ever there. And it does always feel rather, maybe I'm just like a person that's really aware of what my childhood self would have thought about the way that I am or live now, and because I always wanted to be an actor, but it just feels fancy. I try to enjoy it, try not to stress too hard, about getting my picture taken or something. Those are the things that can make me feel scared.
Do you have a favorite award show moment that you've gotten to participate, or just award show you've gotten to go to?
I think they're really fun. I think the carpets are always the hardest. That's always really weird because you're how do I look? What am I doing? How do I and I'm not one of those people that practices, I just cannot make myself do that. So it's really a fucking free for all, I guess, as you would say. But I guess my favorite so far was the SAG Awards, because it is a really kind of theater camp vibe, and I think it's all fun. The SAG is cool because it's I just don't know a lot of actors who haven't always wanted to be one. There are some people who kind of randomly stumbled into it, but it's you're just in a room of people who all love something so much, but it's and have this dedication to something, but it's not religious, but it's spiritual. And it's so in everyone's heart, and you can drink and it's fun. And I think the last time I was at the SAG Awards, I got to present with James Marsden, and I just think he's so talented and perfect and wonderful and handsome. And then when I saw him on jury duty, I was just oh, you've got to be fucking kidding me. This guy's a god. He's that show. I love that show so much. And I thought he was so wonderful. And anyway, yeah.
James Marsden is amazing. And I'm happy that we're talking about James Marsden.
Yeah.
And I could talk about James Marsden all day. But Jenny, on the topic of award shows and being fabulous and looking fabulous, your looks and what you've been wearing on talk shows promoting Dying for Sex and everything you wear on the red carpet, your looks are amazing. You're serving, your fashion. I want to know a little bit about your relationship with fashion and how you land on what you're going to wear, because I just am always blown away by your dresses, and you've just got such a sense of taste.
That's so nice. Thank you. That means a lot to me. It's worth it, but certainly can be feel sort of high stakes to present yourself in a fancy ensemble. I'm not quite sure why. There are a lot of other things that are actually, much more high stakes in life. But First of all, I have a really nice, wonderful stylist named Jordan Johnson, and I feel like I can be really honest with her about what I want to look like. I love clothes. I love shopping. I tend to change my outfit multiple times a day, which is something that, for better or worse, I've passed on to my daughter. But the sort of undertone of that is like, this is about feelings or it's about weather. It's not about... it's about like costuming yourself for your emotional moment, and that's how I kind of look at it. And I just think it's so much fun to see what the discussion is like. How are people costuming themselves? And that's how I tend to look at the like dressing for awards shows. I think it's just that, like, I've started to really understand also how to like look like myself. I think it took a long time for me to get that, but I feel like I'm really, really there. And I've worked with some wonderful people, Monty Jackson and now Jordan Johnson, and what she dressed me in for the Gotham Awards, which was like a beautiful Tom Brown tea-length gown with a petticoat, but like a really, really kind of like tight, like corset and bodice, but then it had this like little white cape. I just was like, I'm satisfying everyone right now. I'm satisfying myself. I'm satisfying my mom, who like really doesn't want to see me in a transparent gown. Like she's just like, well, what was that about? But like I feel like, it's such an honor to wear Tom Brown. It rules. It's just like always like a tuxedo that like is in its best moment, whether it's a tuxedo or a gown. It's like a magic tuxedo that turns into like different stuff. And anyway, I really, really try to figure out how I can be my most true self while wearing a costume. That's how that all feels.
Do you have a specific plan when you're on a red carpet for what you do with your hands? Because I just want to say, this is the one area in which I believe men are kind of disadvantaged. Like, they only have two things they can do. Like, they have to only touch the leg, which is a little bit effeminate anyway. Like, you're always in danger of conveying a message you don't want to convey, I think. But do you
Hands
have
in
specific
pockets.
moves? But is that... Like, that's so unexpressive. I don't know.
I guess I try not to do anything really weird. Like everything in me all the time wants to do like just a really weird hand movement, and I do speak a lot with my hands, and I'm a peppy person. I try really hard to just stay pretty still at this point. I feel that it's not a moment to take huge risks. There's the hand on the hip, there's the hands down in front. And I'm opting for hands down in front. I think that looks nice.
Okay,
It's
I'm literally now going to watch for this when you do it.
I'm
So.
loving
We'll
your
see.
hands in front era.
Hands in front, I don't know. Like, I really, it's all a big blur. Like, sometimes there's just going to be something that's like, and this, like, trips my booby trap or whatever. Like, this is my tripwire. I'm like, what's the other word besides triggered? Because I feel like
Third rail.
like that can be a very serious thing, and I don't, I don't feel like I'm like in danger. But yeah, there are moments that maybe it's also like that there are just so many more cameras and video than before, where it's like I'm just gonna be as still as possible to like get to the other side of this, and while also trying to like be appreciative that I get to wear this fancy thing and be here, rather than not getting to wear it and not getting to be here.
And you do it so well.
Oh, thanks.
Now, to get into Dying for Sex, a show that when this show starts out, like you're kind of familiar. Okay, this is going to be a tough show that has some comedy moments in, and then as it goes on, it gets so much more intense and also so much funnier too. And like everything balloons in such a beautiful way. And I was wondering if you had a favorite moment on the show, and we'll talk about Michelle and the other actors who were all great, of combining hard laughs with very hard drama on the show.
There really were so many moments. I mean, in getting the script, I just was like, oh man, I've been waiting for something just like this, like something where I can apply all my intensity, but not be myself, but everything that I've tried hard to develop as a performer. I think for me, the scene where Michelle's character, Molly, reads the story of the moment when she was sexually abused by her mother's boyfriend, and she's written it down. She's trying to do what, her what Sonia is suggesting that she does, played beautifully by Esco Dulé, and she reads it, and it just swallows everything. That swallows the life in the room. It just is so brutal, and it's brutal as a performer also, because it's real. Because Molly was a real person, and Nikki is a real person, and they had to go through this, and countless people go through things like this. They should never, but they do, and it's not even. It's like it murders your heart in that moment. It is so fucking hard. And I found it to be so hard. And then at the end of that is a straight up fart joke.
Right.
And
Yes.
like, I just, you can't serve the first part of the story, which is like this terrible moment, the reveal of what the specifics were, moment by moment, and written in such a bare way. And then, Molly's, she has like chemo farts, and she farts. And that also, there's the realness of her past, which is haunting her and limiting the way she works in the world. But then there's this moment where her body's out of control. But these two women are so alive and they're so bonded and intimate that Nikki can say, "Did you just fart?" And my job in that moment is to be in tears listening to this story and really let the story come in and not protect myself as the actor or as that character at all, letting it all come in, and then have to really naturally play that question and not let it ruin the scene and make it be that there's a fart joke there, because ultimately we feel that the audience can't handle the gravity and the repulsion and the fear and the terror and the just like rage that comes with hearing the first part of that. And I thought it was so bold of Liz Merriweather and Kim Rosenstock to write it like that, because it's not an easy out. It's actually a doubling down on the realness and the complexity of what this life and moment is for these two women. And I just valued that scene so much, and I loved doing it. But it was very hard.
Well, also, additionally complex thing about that scene is that your character is aware of this story already. So you're kind of hearing her just tell it because you just want her to. It's like a kind of a therapeutic moment for her. So you're having to both listen, and yet you also already know the story. So what's going on in your head there in that moment where you're getting new information, but it's actually not new information?
I guess what I feel about that is actually there are some things in that scene where Nikki says to her, Molly's like, "Yeah, but you already heard this," and Nikki says something like, "But I haven't heard it all together, like all one thing."
Right.
And I think there are some things that she has not heard before. And that's how I went into it, is like, the story is shocking to me every time I read it in the script. The story is shocking to me every time I think about it. Let there be something really new. Like, maybe like one take, like, "Oh, you didn't know that he hid her clothes." Like, think about that. It's so horrifying.
Jenny, I just have to say your performance in the show, as we've said, but it bears mentioning again, is so amazing. You're such an amazing dramatic actress, and you're so, of course, so incredibly funny. One of my favorite things about you is your physical comedy and your gift for physical comedy. And you do some of the finest big bag physical comedy on the show that I've seen. There's something really satisfying and funny about a woman struggling with a giant bag. It's sort of a important part of the history of physical comedy, I find, and you do some incredible big bag work. And I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about that, or at the very least just take in that compliment from me that you fumbling with your big bag and dropping all your things on the floor it really made me laugh, and just thank you, I guess.
Oh, thank you. I can take it in. Yeah, I was a person with a big bag in my 20s. I'm not, and that's like a big achievement for me. And generally, I'm not a lot like Nikki, but that big bag, it just was like, ugh. Like, I almost kind of hated to see it, because I really it is a visceral feeling for me to like be that person who had the big bag and everything. And I was like, why is this bag here, you know? And like first I was like, oh fuck this bag. It's just like that, and it was really heavy. And I was like, really guys, there's a trophy in here? Like, would someone really have a trophy? And Kim Rosenstock was like, she's so sweet. She was like, the reason why there's a trophy in the bag is because this is based off of my bag, and it turned out I just looked in my bag and there was a trophy. I think it was like probably one of her daughter's, you know, trophies. The realness of that bag. It is funny how many people mention it to me. And
visceral.
Maybe there was something deep in my body.
It struck a chord.
Yeah, that really, really understood what that bag was.
There's one moment where you somehow pull up an accordion of Post-it notes as you're fumbling with many things, and it was such a fine, small moment that I just don't want anyone to miss, because it really brought me so much joy and made me laugh. So thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. I loved jumping that big bag out.
Did you have any unexpected moments acting with Michelle Williams where she maybe changed the vibe of a scene by making choices that you didn't expect? Or what adjustments did you have to make as working with her, as she is the central character in the show?
Sort of both ends of the comedy and drama apply there, I guess. Like there's that scene where for no reason she says that her vagina is a wee bit dry, but she does like an accent.
It was so funny.
I feel like I've talked about this before, but like we could not, like, you know, I think I'm like a very professional person. I never go to set unprepared. I'm, you know, like grateful for every moment I can work. And I sometimes feel bad if I ruin a take by laughing. I just couldn't get my shit together. I mean, it was like she was making me laugh so hard, and she was laughing. And every time she would kind of gear up to like say even like it was just like ruined. And I remember first being scared that I was laughing so much because I didn't want to be unprofessional ever, but I also certainly like what we were both doing, I think, was like a pretty vulnerable thing, and we had to trust each other so much that I felt hypersensitive to ever seeming like I was like falling apart or falling away. But I just was so surprised by how it sounded every time she said it that I like couldn't keep it together. And I was surprised that my memory of filming that scene is completely different also than like what I saw in the show. Like I was so freaked out that I couldn't do the take because I was laughing so hard. It's a good thing. But then also there's a scene where, you know, they've been in the hospital for a while. It's towards the end, and it's right before she does that beautiful dance. And she's like, I'm going to meet this guy, you know, who has a dojo, and he wants a hand job.
Right.
And, you know, there weren't a lot of, there was, up until that point, not any real walls between Molly and Nikki. And yeah, Michelle is a really powerful performer. And I was surprised by how scary it was. Like her rejection of my character in that scene. I felt it really strongly. And I mean, there's also like being an actor, you know, it's not, I mean, not, I guess if you're method, I don't know how it goes, but like for me, it's like there's the safe, you know, like the guide in me that's like, this is not real. This is not real. You're cool. Like whatever's happening to you, it's not real, and you can always stop if you need to. I think that's important for me as a person. But like there was that moment where I just was like, oh God, like she's like really, really rejecting me right now. And I was surprised by how strong it felt. And I was like really hungry to use it in the scene. And I felt it in my body, like myself kind of like curling in and suddenly feeling so bare and stupid in that party dress. And I think there are a million trillion reasons for why an actor hopes to work with an actor like Michelle Williams. And that is one of them. It's like to be two things at once, yourself and to be the like weird organism that is reacting to the other's performance. And I just was like, oh yeah, this is like exactly why I am in love with this whole thing. And it's a really good memory, but it's like really alive. It was like, yeah.
I also love that scene because when she's rejecting you in that moment, it's almost like part of her awakening during this period of her life is like she also wants to be able to like impetuously go and do something stupid, like go and hook up with this guy, and like to see your character cope with that, be like, oh, I set up this moment to hang out with her, but she's going to go do this other thing. Like you could see why that would be both painful and why you would get it. That was such a brilliantly deduced screenwriting moment.
Totally, because it's like, well, what does Nikki want? Is she allowed to have one thing that is the primary thing? Is she allowed to say, okay, well, actually, the thing we're doing is Molly's thing. Molly's sort of like her liberation. That's what we're doing. But also, we're doing that via our relationship that we have a clock on in terms of both of us being alive in it. And Nikki, in that moment, has to, she's told, like, you're not dying. And she has to weirdly pair them equally in the way that she makes their relationship, I think, like, as important as Molly's journey is by, like, kind of standing down and like, allowing herself to feel hurt and feel uncertain and alone, because eventually, like, she will be without Molly.
Before I let you go, I have to ask, I'm so interested in how you are kind of hot and cold on stand-up. Like, you will put out a special and be like, I'm thrilled to do this, then be like, actually, I'm over it now. Where do you stand on stand-up right now in this moment?
Well, I've always loved it. I just, like, it's very hard for me. It, like, really, it really chars my nervous system. Right now, I am not doing it. And I feel comfortable being like, maybe this is a break and maybe I won't ever do it again, but maybe I will. But I'm not currently performing any stand-up. And I think, especially because my family is about to move back to New York for good, that it will be very hard for me to be there and not do stand-up. But it's just, I just find it to be really scary. Like, always worthwhile, but it's never gotten it. And it's not like at this point that I feel like I'm not legit or like imposter stuff. It's like somebody who walked a tightrope for so long, and like one time they looked down and they realized how high it was, and now they can't get it out of their head. And I don't even know what I'm so afraid of. It's just all in my body, and it's like it really messes me up. So I'm just not willing to like go through that right now, because I feel pretty good. So I just like can't afford to fuck with that. Like sometimes you really, maybe that's also a function of being like 43 and not 27, but it's just like, hey man, everything's really already pretty scary. Like no need for me to waste an entire day feeling like I'm living a nightmare, but I can't figure out why. And just like so much anxiety that my throat is basically just like a closed book that can't open. It's just like,
let's not go there.
Stay
feeling good.
But one day I will. And I kind of have this feeling that the next time I do a special, it will just be all about my husband. Like, I actually think that almost 7 years in, I'm like, what? Why does he still feel like my new boyfriend? Like, what? Like, what? When am I going to feel? I don't know. There's something there. I think it's going to be a 1 hour special about how I feel. Yet again. We'll see. Let's go. Jenny Slate, thank you so much for being here. You're such a fabulous interviewee, as I stated earlier. And thanks. Dying for Sex is so good. We'll be rooting for you at the Emmys this year.
Woo!
Thank you. Well, you're great question askers. You're great interviewers, as they say, otherwise known as question askers.
That's right. In the business that we do. Yes, that's right.
So nice to see and talk to you both. Thank you so much.